In the quiet of a spring morning in Austin, sunlight sliced through the blinds of a small apartment. The walls were still decorated with SXSW festival posters from the night before, remnants of a city alive with art and sound. At her desk, Maya sat, headphones on, her world narrowed to the glowing screen in front of her. She was editing her short film, a story she had penned herself, a story she'd directed, but one she felt she had never truly lived. Her fingers paused over the keyboard, hovering on a single shot, two hands, just brushing against each other. She zoomed in, and her heart did a familiar flutter. It was her hand and Lena's. Lena, the co-star of her film, her friend, her everything she was too afraid to name. Their journey had started a few months prior at a filmmaker's workshop. Maya, the quiet, methodical director, was bringing her student film, to life, a story woven around themes of connection and timing. And then came Lena, bold and electric, cast as the lead. Lena was the kind of person who could fill a room without even trying. Her laughter was like music, and her eyes held a challenge for the world to feel everything a little more deeply. On that very first day on set, Lena had walked right up to Maya with a knowing smile. "You look like someone who keeps her heart in a locked drawer," she'd said. Maya, caught off guard, laughed nervously. "And you look like someone who keeps the key." In that single exchange, the universe shifted on its axis. Something between them sparked into existence, bright and undeniable. Their professional relationship quickly blurred into something more intimate. Rehearsals would melt into late-night conversations that stretched until dawn. Tucked away under the warm glow of the studio lights between takes, they'd share stories of love, of loss, of all the small, seemingly insignificant moments that secretly shape who we become. Inspired by their growing connection, Maya found herself writing new lines into the script. Lines that felt less like fiction and more like raw, honest confessions pulled from her own heart. During one take, the line between character and reality vanished completely. "What if we just let ourselves feel it?" Lena improvised, her gaze locked on Maya's. The air crackled with unspoken words. "And what if it breaks us?" Maya whispered back, her voice barely audible. The camera kept rolling, but this wasn't acting anymore. It was two souls exposed and vulnerable, speaking a truth that had been simmering just beneath the surface. When the filming finally wrapped, the set erupted in cheers. The crew celebrated a job well done. In the midst of the happy chaos, Lena pulled Maya into a hug, holding on just a beat longer than necessary. "You made something beautiful," she whispered, her voice soft against Maya's ear. "So did you," Maya replied, her heart pounding. But when Lena left that night, the silence she left behind was deafening, heavier than any applause could ever be. Weeks turned into a month, and the footage sat untouched on Maya's computer. It was a digital ghost, a reminder of what was and what could have been. But today was different. Today, she was facing it. The cursor blinked impatiently on the final scene, the one they never got to shoot. In the script, the two characters were meant to meet on a rooftop at sunrise. There, they would finally admit what they had both been too afraid to say out loud. Maya had written the scene, but life hadn't let her live it. Just then, a knock echoed from the door, pulling her from her thoughts. Maya turned, and her heart skipped a beat. It was Lena, standing there, in the doorway of her apartment. "Hey," Lena said, stepping inside. Her hair was a little shorter, but her smile was the same one that had captivated Maya from day one. "I was in town for the festival. Thought I'd drop by." Maya's voice was caught in her throat. "I'm just finishing Lena's eyes softened with a familiar understanding. "Still not over the ending?" she asked gently. "Maybe I never wanted it to end," Maya confessed, the words hanging in the air between them. They stood in a comfortable silence for a moment, the distant hum of the city a faint soundtrack to their reunion. Maya turned back to her monitor and played the unfinished scene, the one that cut to black right before the characters were supposed to kiss. Lena watched it quietly, her expression unreadable. Then, without a word, she closed the distance between them. "Do you want to finish it now?" she asked, her voice low and steady. Maya's breath trembled. "Yes." The space between them crackled, filled with all the unsaid words, the missed moments, the lingering questions. Slowly, gently, Lena reached out, her fingers brushing against Maya's cheek. It was a touch that felt like coming home. Maya leaned in, and their lips met, soft, certain, and real. It was like the closing of a circle that had been left open for far too long. This wasn't a cinematic, rehearsed moment. It was messy, honest, tender, and beautifully human. When they finally pulled apart, a whisper escaped Maya's lips. Was that for the film? A slow smile spread across Lena's face. No, she said. That was for us. With a newfound sense of clarity, Maya hit the record button. The camera captured their shared laughter, the golden sunrise spilling through the blinds, and two people finally, truly, letting themselves be seen. Later, at the festival screening, Let played to a packed, silent theater. The audience was spellbound. It wasn't just the kiss at the end that held them captive, but the undeniable truth that radiated from the screen. It was a story about a love that didn't need permission to exist, about two souls who chose courage over fear, who chose to let themselves feel. As the credits rolled and the lights came up, Maya's eyes scanned the room and found Lena's. Across the crowded theater, their gazes met and held. In that single look was everything the film couldn't possibly say, a quiet, unspoken promise that some stories don't have an ending. They just begin again, in real life. It's incredible how a story can connect us, right? If this one resonated with you, it would mean the world to me if you'd subscribe to the channel. I've noticed that a huge majority of you watching aren't subscribed yet, and hitting that button is the best way to support more stories like this one. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. See you in the next one.